Good morning, everybody, and welcome to your Mindset Maximizer on this beautiful Monday morning. I hope you all had a great weekend, and hopefully you're not sick. Hopefully you're well rested, and hopefully this finds you in a good mindset. Over the last couple weeks, it's been a little chaotic, and I'm going to touch on a lot of that this morning. I'm just inviting a few people to join me live because it's always better when I get, a handful of people on live with me. So that would be amazing. Okay, there. Hopefully somebody joins me here in the next little while. Excuse me. So, today I want to talk about hey, Nicole. Good morning, and thanks for joining me. I'm just kind of getting going here, but cheers to an awesome Monday. It's actually really sideways snowing right now up here in northern Alberta, so it's actually not beautiful out, but it's beautiful that it's a new day, and I absolutely love Mondays because Mondays are awesome. The start of a new week, a fresh start, a blank slate, if you will. Today, like I said, I want to talk about the 5 ways that you can protect your mindset during situations like this, the pandemic that we're all experiencing right now, the COVID-19, everybody's freaking out, and there's a lot of people that I know that have high anxiety, they have OCD tendencies, things like that, and they're all really struggling with everything. Just they feel the weight of the world on their shoulders, and I wanted to kind of take it back, pull back, hey, whoa, pull back on the reins a little, and just take a beat and go through the things that you can do to protect your mindset during times like this. Because you can't ignore what's going on right now. That's just the way it is. It affects us all in one way or another, and some people more than others. It's just, out here we live on a farm, and I don't see another human being for days. Normally, every once in a while, I used to get the odd visitor, but now it's not the case, which is fine. But it's not something that even I can ignore. And I was the one at the beginning of all this, oh yeah, well, it'll fizzle out. It won't affect us that much. It'll fizzle out. But it's a huge deal. The amount that it's affecting people that I know, amount of people that even, I don't know anybody in Italy. I don't know anybody in China. I don't know anybody in Europe, but it's affecting the world. That's what the definition of a pandemic is. It's widespread. It's not necessarily, an epidemic is affecting so many people, getting sick, but a pandemic is how fast it spreads. And that is the key here. So when we're talking about flattening the curve, limiting, self-isolating, limiting the spread of this virus, because there's a lot of conspiracy theories on how it started. I'm not getting into that, but people fear the unknown, and this virus is the perfect storm of unknowns everywhere. I mean, every day they're slowly building information on how it works, how it spreads, how to mitigate it, but until they experience one thing or another, they don't, it's the unknown. This virus has never impacted our lives before, and it's never impacted our generation before, something this big. So I needed to touch this. And anxiety in situations like these is normal. You are normal to experience anxiety. That's okay. You're okay. If you are experiencing anxiety because of what's going on in the world right now, that is okay. Experience it. Feel it. Let yourself feel it. Then move on. But I'm going to go through all these things a little bit more, like specifically on how we can limit our anxiety and maintain a positive mindset during times like this. And I know everybody's like, oh, everybody's talking about the pandemic. Everybody's talking about COVID-19. Everybody's talking about this and this. I'm like, yes, but educate yourself, and you need to maintain this. That's part of your self-care, is maintaining your positive mindset. So that's why I needed to address it. I can't ignore it. It's something that we need to talk about. So the first thing is limiting the news or social media. Be careful what you consume. Everybody is consuming all of this stuff coming at you. Lots of people I know had to get away from social media for a certain while, especially during the beginning of all this, because it was like, bam, it was like hitting a brick wall with all of the stuff. And people that are super empathetic, people that are really, they get overwhelmed with this stuff easily. And people, if they're in the health industry and they're getting tagged and stuff, like, is this true? Is this true? Is this true? That's not healthy. You need to limit your time on the news or social media if you're feeling super overwhelmed about this. The mainstream media tends to sensationalize everything. Have you watched the regular news lately, or any article lately? They thrive in these situations because everybody's like going to them for tidbits of this and that and the other thing. And everything is being super sensationalized. Everything is being super like intense. Whoa, dun dun dun. Like, oh, and that gets so overwhelming in your brain. I limit my interaction with news specifically to like live streams and stuff like that, like directly from Alberta Health or whatever, because I live in Alberta. I'm sure that your government has the same sort of situation where they're like updating people on a regular basis. Social media is full of everything, including untrue statements, people, and their propagandas and their conspiracy theories. And you're just like, dude, no, stop. I mean, posting, legit like articles, but I've gotten a lot of a voice clip of like 4 minutes or 5 minutes of voice clip of a lady in like a British accent or an Australian accent or something. She says so. I've got it from like a bunch of people where she's like, this is what you have to do to limit the spread. This is what you have to do if you're infected, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, half that stuff's not even true. What? After I'm done? I love my children, but get me out of this house. Anyway, so you have to take all of that stuff with a grain of salt. Please do. Take all of that. The social media, like people and their facts and their conspiracy theories and you have to do all this stuff. Take it all with a grain of salt. Please. When you consume information about the situation, ensure that your resource is dependable. So like I said, for me, I go on the Alberta Health Services and the Chief Medical Officer of Health. Their Twitter feeds are super informative. And what I love about Twitter is that they're bite-sized pieces of information. It's not overwhelming. It's not people going on and on about conspiracy theories. And Twitter has its place where it's like, you're allowed this much room on the Twitter feed and that's it, right? So I like that. And I get notifications from Twitter for these like Alberta Health Services, for the Chief Medical Officer of Health, our doctor that is doing, she does, I think, live streams almost every day, updating everybody every day. And like at 3:00 in the afternoon, she'll do a live stream. So I go on there and I watch her on the live stream. And to me, that is a better use of my time consuming that little piece of information than from everything coming at me, whether it's the nightly news or the noon news or the morning news or social media feeds. That to me is like, that's what I depend on. That's what I'm going to, that is my resource. And with, like I said, with Twitter, it's bite-sized. It's not going on and on and on. There's no videos or anything. It's just, there you go. It doesn't overwhelm you. And that's what I love about that, the Twitter feed specifically. Decide on a specific time, a specific time of day. So if you set your alarm on your phone, be like, 3 o'clock or 3:30, I know that this doctor goes live on Facebook or whatever, and I will check out her feed, or I'll check out her live, watch it for 30 minutes, an hour, whatever it is you need to feel comfortable. Set your timer. Set your timer so that when you have your block of time to be informed every day or every couple days, but then set a timer. I'm only going to do it for this long, and then when your timer goes off, turn it off. Do not get sucked in. That is the worst part, is you start scrolling social media after the live feed's done, or you're on Twitter and it's just, that is the worst thing. Turn it off. 30 minutes is done. Facebook goes off, Twitter goes off, whatever it is, the TV goes off. You're done. That's it. So that's number 1. Number 2, mute social media triggers. So you can go ahead and you can unfollow people who post the unnecessarily and untrue statements, the things that are they're going like off the handle on about conspiracy theories or, all these things that are not true. Mute them, unfollow them. You can still be friends with them. Go on their profile, click friends or something, and then there should be an option that says unfollow. I highly recommend that. Hide Facebook posts, whether they're ads, whether they're from groups or from pages, from people. Hide those posts. There's the 3 dots at the top. Tap that, says, I don't want to see this, or hide this post. Done. You can mute keywords and hashtags on Instagram and Twitter. You can say, I don't want to see anybody with the hashtag COVID-19 because it triggers me, or pandemic because it triggers me, or something like that. Mute those on Instagram and Twitter because you can. And if they're triggering you, then you have to, for your own mental sanity. And flip the script. If you can't stay away from social media, if you're like me and your business revolves around being on social media almost all day. I got a weekly report from my phone yesterday that I spend an average of like 6 hours on screen time almost every day. I can believe it, but I'm on like checking out, like doing research. I'm doing stuff for clients. I'm doing my own work, stuff like that. Like I'm constantly on social media. So if you cannot eliminate, then definitely unfollow, mute those things. Yeah, I'll peel it here. But then you flip the script, post your own stuff, post daily motivational, positive posts, positive quotes. Information has nothing to do with any of this. Just post good stuff. I like to, on my stories, my kids yesterday, playing outside, jumping on the trampoline. We have, our pool out back is frozen. I don't know if you saw my story yesterday, but it's frozen in the snow, but we had the ladder that goes into the pool. It's like the big A-frame ladder, and it's not in the pool, but it's beside, and then right beside the ladder, there's a giant snowdrift. So my oldest was jumping off the top of the ladder and into the snowdrift. So she was having lots of fun with that. My youngest was climbing to the top of the ladder and then insisting that I pick her up off of it. She wouldn't jump, which, I mean, I don't entirely blame her. I don't think I would jump. But hey, whatever. Maybe I should jump just to get over that. Here, shape. So, like I said, I posted about my kids. Yesterday, I found a picture that I had taken of one of our mules out in the field, and he had his tongue sticking out a little bit, just like this. So I made a meme with him. I made a meme with him and his tongue sticking out. Neener, I was self-isolating before self-isolating was cool. That's all about farm life, right? I posted on our farm page, Bar CP Ranch. Go ahead and give that a follow if you'd like. It's just our page. It's usually about our horses and mules and our donkey. Nothing too crazy. I don't post on it very often, but I like to do stuff like that on there because it's funny. And then I shared it because it's awesome and people laughed, and that was great. And that's the reaction I was hoping for, right? That's the reaction I was hoping for. Making people laugh, helping people in spite of everything that's going on. Let's make people laugh. Let's help people. Let's not create mass panic and toilet paper buying. By the way, I have decided that I like Charmin toilet paper. I think the next time I find it in a store, I'm going to buy my own like little pack of Charmin toilet paper and have it upstairs just for me and my husband because I like that toilet paper. Zoe, not in the house. Go watch your show or I'll turn it off. So I bought Pure, like a couple weeks, like 2 weeks ago, before all of this happened, I was in Costco doing my normal Costco shop and I grabbed Purex because it was on sale. And I have this Purex toilet paper in my house, big package. I'm good for a while. But I just switched our upstairs roll from the Charmin package that we had before to the Purex. And I'm like, the Charmin's so much nicer. You don't need as much because the sheets are bigger. You don't need as many sheets. And my daughter, who's 5, will just take how many of her sheets. She'll count it at like 5 or 6 or whatever. But since the Charmin's bigger sheet, I'm just going to give her the Purex because then she doesn't use as much. Right? Anyway, toilet paper thought of the day. I should hashtag that. Number 3, wash your hands. And I know that everybody's like, wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. And you cannot hear this enough, but not excessively. See, I'm at home all day with my kids. I don't come into contact with anybody that I could possibly contract the virus from. The only time is like my husband when he comes home from work. I make him go upstairs and have a shower basically as soon as he gets home because there's a guy that came in from Mexico before all this self-isolation stuff happened. And he got through this loophole of not having to self-isolate for the 14 days before he went back to work. So he is working nights right now and my husband's working days. And I'm like, has that guy shown symptoms yet? I'm not paranoid, but let's still be careful, right? So anyway, wash your hands, but not excessively. This hand washing stuff can trigger people with OCD. And that's why I'm saying this not excessively thing. So it can be triggered or form or regress into some sort of an addiction. Wash only or up to the recommended amount of time is 20 seconds. So for the OCD people, that's not going to be enough time. So if they're counting to 20 while they're washing their hands, that will limit your amount of time washing your hands. But if you're like me and you're not OCD at all, then 20 seconds almost seems too long. So like for me, my kids, especially my 5-year-old, I have her counting to 20 while we're washing our hands. And that is the recommended amount of time. So of course, being forced to stay at home, self-isolating tends to make some of these OCD triggers worse because either you're bored or, there's things around your house that trigger you. I'm not entirely sure how it exactly works in the brain because I'm not a psychiatrist or a specialist about any means about OCD, but be conscious of triggers. Like I said, washing hands for 20 seconds. So when you're OCD, that will seem like not enough time. When you're not OCD, that will seem like too much time. So that is the recommended amount of time, 20 seconds. Number 4, stay connected and distracted. So the last few days, I've been like piling into my business and being outside with the kids and doing housework. I showed a story last night about me being like the domestic diva queen in my kitchen, making broth and stew and biscuits and peanut butter protein balls and all this stuff, right? So, but staying connected, like for the first time since before Christmas, I've brought my kids tablets out of hiding. I hid them just before Christmas because it was annoying me how they were getting like just consumed, especially my 5-year-old was getting consumed by them. My 2-year-old can play with it for a little while and then she'll leave it. But today's technology makes it so easy to stay connected. So she's got this app called, it's a kids Facebook messenger. Anyway, so I connect only the people that I allow her to connect to on there. So it's usually family. She's got a couple friends on there from school, and she can call them and talk to them and play games with them in real time, do it through like a video chat through Facebook Messenger. So that's been really good for us to stay connected. So check in with your friends and family. Send them a quick text, a quick phone call. It doesn't have to take all day. I talked to my dad on the phone for the first time in forever the other day, just because I hadn't talked to him in forever. He's still working, so he's busy, but I just needed to check in with him. Like, he's got to be getting, I think he's close to 60. So, getting up there and stuff. He's getting close to retirement, but he's just been working, right? And my stepmom's the same way, working. My mom down in Calgary is the same way. My sister is working from home. Thank goodness she has a job that she can work from home. So it's important to connect with these people. Check in. There's a couple ladies in the area the first weekend that this whole self-isolation thing hit. I was like, hey, just checking in. How you doing? It was a quick text. It took no more than like 5 seconds to type out and send. Checking in. How you doing? Send. If you have friends, I have a couple friends that are nurses. One is a nurse in Red Deer and one's a nurse in Calgary. I checked in with them. Hey, how you holding up? How are things going for you? What's up? One thing that last week they had the school open for parents to pick up their kids' stuff. And our school isn't very big anyway. I think there's like maybe 100 kids in that school total. But of course, those schools are closed. So they're like, well, come pick up your kids' stuff, bring in your library books. And there was a few, actually pretty much almost all my kids' teachers were in the library helping wipe down library books with Lysol wipes. And I wanted to give them all hugs, just their faces. I wanted to give them hugs so bad. And so they went out to the door and they waved, because my daughter was in the truck with my husband. And they waved at her from the door and they're like blowing her kisses and everything. And it was nice to see them, like, they're sad. They don't want to not have school open. They're really sad. So check in with them. Maybe if you have them on Messenger or email or something like that, take a little quick video message of your kids saying, hey, have a nice day, or miss you, or something, and send that out. Like, just brighten their day a little bit. That's all that matters, because they still have to go to the school and do the curriculums and stuff like that, but they miss having the kids there. Definitely do that. Routine is important during this time, but so is self-care. So, creating a daily to-do list to go through. Sleep in. Take your kids outside. But, if you don't live in the country like we do, make sure you're maintaining your distance. What is there, a 6-foot distance or whatever between you and somebody else? So if you're like on the sidewalk, make sure that you are away from them. I guess a lot of people down, my mom and my sister live in Calgary, right? So they went for a walk at this dog park over the weekend, and they said that there's a few people at the dog park. It wasn't a really popular dog park, so there wasn't a lot of people, but there was a few people there, and my nephew was like, hey, 6 feet. But the dogs don't know that, and the dog come over and sniff his dog, and anyway, whatever. So just make sure you're maintaining the social distancing. Check in. We have the technology. Do a quick go live. Hey, Facebook land, friends Facebook on Facebook land. I'm okay. This is what we're doing this week. This is what we're doing today. It takes a couple minutes. You don't even have to. I tend to go on for a long time, but you don't have to. Another thing about social media is there's lots of groups that can do things that are positive. Like there's a group that I just joined, a virtual egg hunt, and kids are like putting stickers, doing decorations in the windows, and like posting pictures and stuff like that. And I have stuff for that too, but I'm not going to let my kids have it till like the week of Easter, because it will get very out of hand if I do that. There's also a huge Google Doc of like yoga classes and Zumba and Pilates and all these different resources that you can use. Hey guys, I'm not done yet. I understand. Oh. No, you're going to have your jiu-jitsu soon. And jiu-jitsu, my oldest has jiu-jitsu classes every Monday and Wednesday. They're doing them via Zoom. So that is a really cool thing. And she's so excited to do that today. That's going to be here right after I'm done this go live. So, which I've already droned on for long enough. But, you know, doing learning programs. Like right now between the accelerator program that I started in February, I'm also just started learning foreign exchange and stock market trading. Why not, right? I'm keeping myself busy. I have my clients I'm creating funnels for, running ads for. Like that stuff still hasn't stopped. And I'm so grateful that I can work from home. My work doesn't necessarily have to stop because of everything that's going on. But if your work has, then maybe now's the time to get into learning digital marketing or foreign exchange trading or stock trading or something like that, just to kind of keep your mind going, right? You don't want to just sit stagnant watching Netflix all day. Which Netflix and Disney Plus and our internet has been completely overrun the last week and a half just because everybody is on it. So our internet's been so slow. Gotta love the country living. And the number 5 and the last one, avoid burnout. So be sure to maintain or start an exercise routine, eat healthy, stay hydrated. Your body still needs you to be a functioning human being. You can't sit on the couch and eat junk food all day. Sorry. And drink wine. I had my first little sip of wine here the other day because I just finished my 75 hard on the 15th was my last day. So I've been like a week out of my last 75 hard. And I had my first sip of wine a couple days ago just because I made my stew and it calls for a dry white. So I opened up a dry white wine and I had to sip. No. I know, sweetie. Just wait and mommy will help you, okay? So, people with anxiety or that experience burnout really easily can use this mnemonic or this technique called the Apple technique. So A stands for acknowledge. So notice the worry, when it enters your mind. Awareness is key. So you have to be aware of that worry, that anxiety, acknowledge it. Then pause. P stands for pause, AP. Don't react, just pause and breathe. Box breathing is really helpful when it comes to this. Breathe in for a count of 8? Hold it for a count of 8 and breathe out for a count of 8, or however long you can hold it for, like 5 or 6 or 7, whatever it is. It's called box breathing. Anyway, and the next P, APP, pull back. Tell yourself it's just the worry talking, and it's not helpful at all to do that. Worrying, have you ever heard the saying, worrying is like a rocking chair, it gives you something to do, but doesn't get you anywhere? Let that sink in for a minute. So pull back. It's just the worry talking, and it's not helpful at all to have that experience that feeling. L, so APPL. Let go. It's funny that I come across this mnemonic and I'm like, let go. My youngest, my 2-year-old, has been singing Let It Go through the house for days and days. Let it go, let it go. It's annoying, but it's a good reminder. This feeling will pass. It will, I promise. But you have to pause and breathe. Let it go. Imagine your worry in a bubble and watching it float away into the sky till you don't see it anymore. That one I found is a really good, just like a visualization technique. So the last one, E, explore. So explore the present moment. Focus on your breathing. Feel the sensations around you. Those of you that meditate kind of already know what I'm talking about. As you're focusing on your breathing, feeling the sensation, whether it's the chair you're sitting on, the air hitting your skin. So if like there's a fan or forced air, if it's cold outside, feel the sensations around you. Look around at your environment. Use your senses. Touch and smell and taste and, all of your senses. Use all your senses to just be in the now. Just soak in what's going on around you right now. Then shift your attention to something else. Take 30 seconds or whatever it is to explore, to breathe, to focus on sensations and breath and everything. Take 10, 20, 30 seconds to do that. And then shift your attention to something else. Go to your to-do list or play with your kids or empty the dishwasher. Something menial. Something that you don't have to do. You don't have to think about to do. That is a good way. So the apple, so it's acknowledge, pause, pull back, let go, and explore is the mnemonic for avoiding burnout or avoiding a high anxiety situation. So like I said, those are the five ways to protect your mindset in a pandemic. I'm going to kind of recap again. So number 1, limit the news / social media. Be careful what you consume. Number 2, mute your social media triggers. So unfollowing people, muting hashtags or keywords. Number 3, wash your hands, but not excessively. Number 4, stay connected and distracted. And number 5, avoid burnout by using the Apple mnemonic. Acknowledge, pause, pull back, let go, explore. Okay. Thank you, Nicole, for popping on with me live. I didn't really have anybody else pop on with me live, but if you are watching the replay, then definitely type in replay. I would love to hear how you are doing during all of this, if you're self-isolating, if you have to work, the precautions that you're taking, the things that you're doing to keep yourself busy, to keep yourself distracted, to avoid burnout. I would love to hear all that stuff because it might affect somebody else. You might type it in here and somebody like, oh, I could do that. So let's help others by just revealing things that help us, right? Because you never ever know what little thing could just click in somebody's mind and be like, oh, I never thought of that. I could do that, or I could do this, or whatever it is. So I hope you all have a great week. Definitely reach out if you're struggling. I did post like a how you doing post in here. What was it, last week sometime? I don't know, it was Thursday or Friday with the heart colors. So if you really want, you can go into that post and just select what color of heart that you are going through right now. And like I said, you never know if somebody else is struggling and they don't want to say anything, seeing your post or your color of heart might help them either come out of their shell or just kind of let it go, let it out, whatever it needs to happen for them, because we are all together in this. I know it doesn't feel like it because we're self-isolating. It doesn't feel like we're together, but we are all together. We can use groups like mine to communicate, use whatever it is. Message me on Facebook, on the Facebook Messenger, if you really don't feel like posting in here. That is okay. I welcome your messages. Until next week, I will be here again next week, hopefully. I don't foresee anything going wrong in the near future, but you never know. Until then, I hope you all have an amazing day, an amazing week, and just keeping that positive mindset going. Have a great day. I'll talk to you next week. Bye.